We are live. I'm just going to set the tone right now. Just get you in the mood. Okay, we are live. I have missed you. I didn't see you last week. Tell me how you are. Tell me where you are. Tell me what is going on where you are. I know there are lockdowns. There are things happening. Tell me in the comments. Today I'll be there for you because today is a very, very special live episode. In fact, I'm going to call it an inspirational episode of New Mom Who Dis Live. Today is proof that dreams can come true. A month ago, we played Name That 90s Child Star All Grown Up. One of our questions was about the MOFFATTS, if you recall. I know many of you do. Of course, the MOFFATTS are the Canadian pop rock boy band that I was obsessed with as a tween. And apparently I was not alone. You all jumped in the comments. You were all up in my DMs to tell me that you were also MOFFATTS fans. And so I took it upon myself. I'm going to say it was my act of charity to post this on October 21st. I'm just going to put a call out on the internet. I want a MOFFATT to appear live on my show. If you know a MOFFATT, if there is a MOFFATT out there, DM me. I want you on my show. Now let me go back to watching YouTube videos of the MOFFATTs. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, as the saying, if you've seen Field of Dreams, you know the saying, if you build it, they will come. Or in this case, if you put it in your Instagram stories, they will DM you. Within hours, I had like friends of MOFFATTS up in my DMs. I had a wife of a MOFFATT up in my DMs. And I think within 24 hours, Bob MOFFATT was in my DMs, ladies and gentlemen. Where's my air horn sound effect when I need it? Stand by. There it is. You know, they say that childbirth should be the happiest moment of your life. For me, now childbirth is number 2. Bob MOFFATT in my DMs is number 1 greatest moment of my life. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to top it one more time. It is my honor, it is my privilege, my pleasure, my life's work to welcome live to the show, not just Bob, but Bob and Clint MOFFATT!
Wow. That was incredible. We made it, man. We're on the show. Hi. This is really happening.
This is really happening. And by the way, this isn't just for the show. This is just a corner of my bedroom. So don't leave the stream. I'm just putting it out there. Hi, guys.
How are you?
I'm great. Where are you right now?
We're in Nashville, Tennessee. This is our studio at Clint's house. And we've been sitting here all day waiting for this moment.
Wow.
We got her early, 2 cups of coffee, just been sitting here waiting.
Wow. So you've been waiting for this moment for approximately 1 day. I've been waiting for it for 22 years. I'm just doing the math here, letting you know where our priorities lie. So this is awkward, but we have met before. Do you remember?
I don't think we do.
I don't know if I do. I mean,
Please fill us in.
Fine, I'll fill you in. It was at your concert in Vancouver in 1999.
Okay.
I was a preteen girl. I was wearing, I remember, a red tube top with a temporary tattoo of a butterfly covered in glitter on my chest. I waited in line at the meet and greet after the concert to have you sign my centerfold for Teen Beat magazine, which I then put on my locker for the rest of the year. Do you remember now?
I don't know. Something might be brewing. That seems like that would have been sort of like a lot of girls sort of go to, but I don't know.
It was probably special. He was special. Whatever.
I mean, you're here now. Well, I do remember the show though. That was a crazy cool show.
That was a great show. We filmed that show. I remember what I was wearing.
You do? What were you wearing?
Well, if my memory serves me, I was wearing orange pants that I don't even know who picked those out.
I think our
Like
dad.
a Mod Rob style, I'm sure. Like a
Hawaiian, with like a Hawaiian shirt.
And so did you have one of those bandanas on of your favorite Moffat, or did you have a favorite Moffat?
Well, I really fluctuated between all of
I've
them.
read something or I've seen something that Scott was maybe your favorite.
Oh, you were.
Well, no, Scott was almost a little, and we'll get to this. Don't worry. I have questions. Scott was almost a little too sexual for me at the time.
Really?
Scott was giving off a vibe that I knew at all 93 pounds of me could not handle.
Oh, really?
But let me ask you while we're on the topic, when you have a line of girls wearing, tube tops and butterfly tattoos, like in my mind, I was going to get to the front of the line. You were going to see me and fall instantly in love with me.
Mhm.
Did that ever happen with anyone at any time?
I don't know if that. I mean, I know that my wife, she came to a concert and she stood in line and she got an autograph. So theoretically, it didn't happen that day, but it happened down the road. So I don't know.
I think we were just probably just trying to get not through it, but there's a lot of autographs to sign. We were probably just focused on the task at hand.
You were just trying to get through it. Were you, Clint?
I mean, that's
Greatest moment of my teen life. I'm obsessed with the fact that your wife was a fan who lined up for an autograph, and now she's married to you. I thought I was living the dream, having a Facebook Live with you, but no, your wife is living the dream.
Well, someday she probably feels that. Or probably other days she's like, I don't know about this guy.
You can tell her. We can take that clip and send it to her so she's reminded that please. So, obviously, and you guys had a hard time believing this when I was trying to convince you before the show, but I was like, I had all the CDs, I had the posters, I went to the concerts, I had the wall calendar. Did you know you put out a wall calendar?
I don't think I did. Is that what it is?
No, I didn't save it, unfortunately. I mean, I love you, but I didn't. Did
you find those on the internet are those from like a box that you had a collection of?
Which would be creepier? I'm trying to decide how to answer. Would it be creepier if I told you I've had these shirtless pics of you as a 12-year-old with me for the past 20 years?
That would be pretty creepy.
This is the poster. Wait, we're going to get there. Here's what we're going to do. Yeah. We're going to talk about your new music, Travel Love, because if anyone watching hasn't heard or seen their new stuff, it's like mind-blowingly good. But first, I want to go all the way back to the beginning, to the very beginning. And just let's start with the basics. You are identical twins, but you're triplets. Like Dave is your triplet, yes?
Right.
And then how much older is Scott?
He's 11 months older. Yeah, so we're really close. But I would say that I like the production aspect of just throwing in some pictures here and there. It's nice.
Guys, very good production value here. I know what you expected, but this is top quality. Okay,
oh, yeah.
This is a top quality set, top quality photos. Yeah. And I will tell you that Sam, our producer, is as obsessed with the Moffats as I am. So she went crazy with the photos and the videos. So brace yourselves.
Good job.
I just want to clarify here for the moms, and there are many moms like me of twins and multiples. Your mom had an 11-month-old baby, and then she had triplets.
Yes, and your babies were premature, correct?
Yes.
And were you preemies? Well, yeah, we were 3 months premature.
Oh,
I just saw, we just went back to North Dakota. We were there for a little bit, and we were able to go grab some stuff like family photo books and things like that. And I saw how much we weighed, and it was insane because I have 2 boys, and my boys were, I think, almost 7 pounds, maybe a little bit more each. I was 3 pounds and 9 ounces. I was the smallest, and then we were all under 3 pounds.
Yeah,
or we were all around or 4.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
yours were yours.
Mine were 3 and 4 pounds.
Yeah.
And
right.
Do you know how wild it was to realize that you were also identical? Like I have identical twin boys, and I was like, oh my God, I grew up worshiping / lusting after identical twin boys. And here I am, I have a set of my own. And now I wish I had named them Bob and Clint.
Wow.
No.
Those are wow. I don't know if
Those
those
are
names,
like-
do you think those names can make a comeback again? I just
I don't
feel
know.
like they're
They're like,
I don't even know if they had a comeback when you were named Bob and Clint.
oh, right.
They're like,
I don't know if Bob's coming back. I mean, or Clint. Those are like really low on the list of baby names, I
you
think.
know what they are? They're country music names.
I kind of think
You're
so
right.
too. I think you're right.
And I think we should take you back to your country music days with a performance that you did on Sally Jesse Raphael. Take a look, gentlemen.
She likes me. I think she might be the one, and more than likely. The best is you get to come. I think she likes me. Maybe even might be love.
I mean, if my boys were line dancing on Sally Jesse Raphael, that would be the peak of motherhood for me. How old were you in that video?
Gosh, we were, I don't even know, I think probably 11,
Yeah.
10 and 11.
10, 11.
Yeah, we were pretty young. We had just moved to Nashville. I think that was probably 95. And that was Sally Jesse Raphael. And we did her show probably 3 or 4 times. She was wonderful.
Yeah,
right.
No big deal. Just you're on a Sally Jesse basis with her. Bob, I believe you had the blowout of a Midwestern housewife in that particular performance. It is spectacular. It is like a bouffant in the front. Look at that.
Yeah, Scott did too a little bit.
I never had
You never had that.
I never had it as good as you guys had it, for sure.
You had it pretty good later on. Oh, you had it pretty good when the bleach started coming out, Clint.
I don't even know what that thing was. That was
It was a thing. So how did this happen? Like, how do you, as someone who has identical twins, sometimes I look at them and I think I need to monetize this. I want you to become a boy band. Like, what was it? How did that work? Did your parents encourage you? Did you want to do it?
Well, I think at the beginning it was Scott and Dave. Dave, I think, was the first. He was doing a telethon. Our mom was singing, and Dave sort of a natural ability in singing. And then Scott, was always super competitive. So he was like, well, if Dave can do it, I can do it too. And he started doing it. And Clint and I sort of just, we were just along for the ride, to be honest, for the first few years. And we're grateful that we went on that ride, because I think now it's sort of like just having that, that ability and that tool set, it's turned into a passion. We're more passionate about music today than we were ever. And to be able to be good at something and, always trying to get better at it. It's just awesome to have that in your life. So I'm grateful that we were sort of along for that ride at the beginning stages.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And by the way, someone just put in the comments, you've aged like fine wine. And I have to say, you really have. You really, you guys are looking great. As we say on this show, you can still get it from all of us watching, I'm telling you. So when did you go like, fuck the blowout, let's make pop music?
That's a good question. When we made sort of like into the chapter 1 in the beginning era,
Yeah.
I think it was just a natural thing. I mean, we were, by the time we actually made chapter 1 in the beginning, we weren't even listening to pop music. We were listening to Nirvana and things like that, mainly due to Scott's musical taste at the time. But then we kind of got an opportunity where people saw an old album that we had made and thought that they could bring us over to Germany and kind of do something with it. And so Germany was actually the first country that took a hold of what we were doing. And at the same time that we were doing that, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, and a lot of the boy bands, they were dominating in Germany, and they hadn't come over to the United States or Canada at that point in time. And so we kind of we went along for the ride in that scene as well, and met a lot of amazing people, and were able to build a pretty amazing fan base that brought us back into Canada. And Canada, I think it was one of the coolest things ever to be over there for a couple of years and come back to Canada and be able to sell tickets. I mean, I remember when we put a tour out, and
Clint was always sort of like, he was always wanting to know first day ticket sales. It was like he was always a stat guy. You know?
I was a stat guy, still kind of am.
Yeah.
But I just remember thinking how cool it was to go back to our hometown, Victoria, and do a show at a place that we had seen a lot of concerts, and do our own show there at one point. And that was just a really great memory for us, you know. But yeah, that journey took us to Canada, and then the United States was kind of just a market that we never really spent a lot of time in, but we enjoy living in the United States. But yeah.
But that's because you were like you're being very Canadian and modest. You were the youngest band ever to be signed by a major label recording.
That's a great photo. I don't know who's picking your photos, but these are really throwback.
Can we put that one back up? Because I just want to point out Bob's leather vest. Okay, leather vest. Nothing.
Yeah,
I don't know who picked our clothes. I mean, I don't know if we were in charge of that or if our dad. I think our dad.
Your dad?
I'm gonna throw the blame on our dad.
Your dad was like, you know what you need, Bob? A leather vest and nothing else.
It's like,
I think you're right. I think that's exactly what happened.
Wow. But you were huge in Asia. You're one of the biggest selling acts in Southeast Asia at the time. You break a record in Canada, Bang Bang Boom, which we all know and love, was the fastest growing #1, like the fastest single to #1 in Canadian music history. So, and you're like literal children when all of this is happening. And I was trying to like think of what my question is. I think my question is, as a mom, I am worried that I tell my boys they're handsome too much and that it's going to go to their head. How did you deal with all of that at like 12?
Well, I think that, I think it was challenging because, you know, you were working so much. Like we would, the day started at, 6 o'clock in the morning. You're getting ready to go do an interview or a radio show or a TV show or meet with a record label person or go in the studio to start recording. And the day didn't end until 11 or midnight. So there were long days, but you built up a bit of a stamina for that kind of work. And so it was just sort of like a routine. Like you just get up, you kind of knew what you were expecting. And a lot of it just kind of turned into a bit of a blur. There were amazing memories, but our dad, I think they always kept us focused on, it not going to our head and just, doing the best job you could do that day. Like that was sort of the emphasis was, go to work, do your best, as opposed to, the stardom and the fandom and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think that was never really emphasized,
Right. So your dad was really there to sort of keep you grounded, also to put you in a leather vest, but mostly to just keep you grounded. What was the level of, like, was he a dadager? Was she a momager? Like, what was the level of involvement with your parents?
Well, we had management too, but I think our dad, our stepmother, Sheila, was on the road with us a lot at that time during those days. But I think our dad was more just...
It's like a coach.
Yeah, he was a coach.
He was a hockey coach.
So we lean on our dad still today, to when we do something, we always run it by him first.
And when you're that age too, it's like when your dad's telling you stuff, you're like, can you just go away? Like, let us, you're trying to push, those people out of your life because you want, not out of your life, but out of the business because you want to be able to be an 18-year-old rock star, if you will. But now as you get older, you're just like, you don't want that at all. You want to be around your parents. You want to be around them. You want them to be involved because you realize that life's more important than fame. It's family. It's about that kind of stuff, and that's not around forever. So for us, anytime our dad can chime in and give us his two cents or be around for any of that, we embrace it. We're just like we love
for any of our family. Yeah.
Guys, stop it. It's already difficult for me to be talking to you live. Yes, all the flame emojis. I mean, it's just you get better with every minute of this live stream. So I want to talk about, we briefly touched on the hair, but to me the hair, beyond the music, which by the way is like so catchy, so good, I still can sing every word. The hair was iconic. And I would just like you to talk me through the process a little bit, the conversations, the decision making that went into bleaching blonde streaks just in the front.
But you said iconic. It maybe kind of remember there was a T-shirt that was made along. I wish I still had that T-shirt because all the T-shirt was the 4 of our hairstyles. There's no face; it was just hair. And I was like, there has to be something to be said about that because if I know who that,
well, I don't know who else would do their hair like
exactly.
that,
but there was something about it.
Well, I mean, I guess Scott's hair to a certain degree, I've seen it, and I've seen it even today, like in today's time, like I've seen it. If some people
like Billie Eilish kind of has something like that.
Are doing that sort of style, but with my hair, I don't think it'll ever be seen again. I hope it's never seen again. I hope
that's one for the
that's
vault.
a closed door,
Can you just put a picture of Clint or just a picture with Clint's hair? It was a buzz cut with 2 long bleached pieces in the front.
Yeah.
I mean, you
I
are
remember when that hairstyle was actually born. We were living in Nashville, and this was prior to we had just found out that we were going to be going to New York to record a record, and then from New York to Europe and stuff like that. And I remember us sitting in there, and we were like, okay, well, how are we all going to look? Like, what are our hairstyles going to look like? And Clint was like, well, what about if I,
I don't know. I'm not going to take credit for that.
I'm pretty sure.
I think somebody else told me to do that.
But I remember Sheila actually we were in the kitchen. We had there was a hair dye and all that. We just went down to Kroger and got some hair dye. And Scott and Clint sat in the kitchen, and Sheila put the hairstyle, and I was like, what are they doing? Like, this is just madness. Like, what are they doing to their hair? And then that turned out to be the thing, I guess.
And our dad, he also had a thing where it was like, once you decided to go with something, it was really, he comes from a time where people were really, they were very, when they had an attire, if you watch the great artists of the early, 60s, 70s or whatever, even the 80s, when you saw somebody you loved, you could count on them to show up and look that way. Now we're in a time where we're just always changing. And so our dad was really like, once you decided to do your hair that way, you had to keep it forever. And I remember going, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to have my hair like this. I could do lots of other things. And he was like, well, people know you with this hairstyle, so you got to keep it. And so once I turned 18, I just remember I'm going to the hair salon.
Oh.
I'm going to get it all the same color. And so I did that, And
the record sales plummeted.
I'm sure.
All because of the hair, man.
Yeah.
The Moffatts hair is Canadian iconography, period. I mean, there's nothing more iconic. And not only I feel like it worked at the time because you were, cute preteen boys in a pop band. It did not work as well on other people.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. I took it upon myself. It wasn't my stepmom in a kitchen like you. It was me alone. I snuck my mom's facial bleach one night in her bathroom, and I just took one chunk of my hair and I bleached it with facial bleach. I found a photo today. I didn't really achieve the platinum shade that you did. It was more like a Cheeto orange. But look.
Well, I think you could have probably achieved the Scott look a little bit. I think that's probably more in line with what would have served you.
But now that I see the 2 of us split screen together in 98, Clint, I feel like I could be the quadruplet. We look a lot alike. I did look like a preteen boy for many years of my childhood. Wow. Well,
great picture.
That is great.
Thank you for the very unflattering look that I had for way too long. I think when you turned 18 and changed your hair, I was like, oh, I should probably get rid of this too. So you inspired changes of hair in your fans. You also inspired sexual awakenings.
Oh, really?
Oh, don't act like you don't know that.
I don't know about this.
Please.
Explain.
I'm going to play a clip
Okay.
from the Girl of My Dreams video. And I just want everyone, as you're watching and enjoying, just try to spot Bob.
Okay.
All alone in my room, wishing that you were here. Without you in my arms, I'm holding back all of the tears.
Did you see that?
I mean, I think honestly, it's sort of. I remember when we were making that video, it's like please don't make us do this.
But I remember the director, like, okay, I wasn't supposed to be no shirt. I was supposed to be somebody else in the band. And everybody said no. And the director it was the director or the producer was coming up to me saying, you got to do the no shirt thing. We've got that. We wrote that in the script. And I was like, dude, I don't want to do that. I mean, like, I have not lifted weights. I need to type shoot.
That just looks like it sort of looks. I don't know what that looks like.
I took I really
looks like you're just showing off that 0% body fat, baby.
Definitely.
If I had this body, can we put that up again? If I had that body, I would be walking the catwalks of Milan right now. Okay. Wow.
Well, I think that's definitely better than my clip, because my clip, it's sort of like I got a shirt on and it's sort of like it's
worse?
almost worse.
It was really a come hither moment from you on the bed. I noted.
Yeah.
There's more shirtless moments with you, Bob, in that video. And now that I know that you were shirtless against your will, it makes me want to play them even more. Take a look at more shirtless.
You are the girl of my dreams. In my heart, I believe.
It's not so bad. I mean, it's not as bad as I thought it was.
It's so cute. You're just lying there shirtless with your drumsticks. I was wondering, like, what is going through your head? Are you like trying? Is it like did you even know? Like, you're so young. Did you know that you're singing about love and about I'm alone in my room? And like, did you know what you were doing?
To a certain degree, I guess. I mean, I don't think you really, I mean, at that point, I think you're entertaining to a certain degree.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
But I think that there was a level there where you're a little bit, not conscious to it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually remember that scene, like laying there going, I really hope I don't look like a rail. That's what I feel like was in my head.
I remember the same thing, just thinking like I'm not like a fan of what I'm seeing. Like, I'm not a fan of what's going down here. Like, if I could think of other ideas, I would shoot them out. Like, with our clothes on a stage or something. But it was sort of like, the idea and the concept behind the video, I didn't get it.
And those videos, like, honestly, like, everything was happening so fast that, like, literally you would show up on set to do a video, and I mean, I wouldn't even know we were shooting a video until the day of.
Yeah.
Honestly, I swear.
Same here.
Like, it would be like, oh, you're shooting. Okay, what are we doing today? We're shooting Girl My Dreams. Okay, well, what is that? What are we doing in that video? Okay, we're gonna do this. There was such a schedule. We were doing 50 to 60 countries a year. So we were flying a lot. Every day was just different. So I remember it just being like, oh, you're showing up to do this and you're doing it. Where now it's sort of just like, I would, if that was to happen in my life, I would know it. I would prepare for it. I would be ready.
I'd probably be more vocal.
Yeah.
Of course, yes, as you are with what you do now. But I'm just thinking like,
hard to watch.
And that's the thing. It's like watching these things now. It's actually really, it's just all fun. It's like, I actually really would say that sometimes when things pop, into my life where I'll see something or I'll see a photo or something like that, I love it. It's kind of like, it's just good memories.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I remember doing that one.
Do you remember? This is the one I had on my locker for many years. What do you remember about this one?
The guy who took that photo actually is a really great photographer, and he, I think his name was Michael.
In Germany.
Yeah, his name was Michael, and he shot a lot of great stuff. Like when all the, some of our favorite artists would come over. He shot for a magazine called Bravo, which was a really big magazine, and he shot great stories when Metallica would come over and bands at that time that we loved and we were kind of really into. He shot all the great bands, and so
I think that was after a show, so we were really sweaty. And
and he took that.
It is. Can you put that back up there, Sam?
That's actually, that shot wasn't even thought about. It was just we just finished a show and he was like, let's take a shot. I actually like that shot.
I do too. It looks like very Rolling Stone. It's very Me magazine right now. I just think it's so funny that to me, as a 14, 15-year-old girl, having this on my locker, this was like hot, hunky pieces of man meat. And I look at you now.
Amanda says, Amanda Lunt, was it, that came up? She said she had that picture hanging on her bedroom wall. I mean, that's just so crazy to think that was happening, you know?
Oh, please. It was happening everywhere. I wonder though if you were aware, like, to me, you had your like, at the time you had your like hand, like in terms of the younger boy bands, you had your Hansons, but you guys were like a little edgier. You were a little more rock and roll. Scott was like bringing it. You were like, dare I say it? Because now I feel like a legitimate perv, but you were bringing like a little sexuality to what you were doing. Did you know that? Like, were you getting action after the show? Like, what was really going on?
Well, I think that the people that we listened to and really, you know, liked, you know, were kind of influencing us too. And so I think that played a role in maybe that happening. I think that, you know, Scott was definitely at a certain point, you know, wanting to, I don't know if it was just him wanting to do it. I think it was probably just natural desire to not be what maybe we were at the beginning, you know, because at the beginning, you know, there was definitely more of a team involved. And then once we started to be able to kind of make more decisions, you know, it started to go in a different direction. But also I think that it might have been too big of a leap, you know, from where we went, you know, we only made 2 records, you know, it was like
I know
modalities was a pretty giant leap.
So can you tell me what happened? Because you had all this success, you made those 2 giant records, and then you caused devastation among tweens with bleach-blond highlights when you broke up. So what happened? What led to that decision?
I think it was just, we had been together for a lot more years in those 2 records. You know, people knew us from those 2 records, but there was a lot more years before that had taken place. And I think by the time we made Some Modalities, we were just bit of a period of time where we were all tired.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best word to describe it. We were just all tired. And we needed a break. We needed a break from everything that had been going on. Maybe we needed a break from each other.
And to kind of just, you know, at that point, you know, you could have, you know, we were traveling so much, there was no room for a girlfriend. There was no room for friends outside of the family. So I think that we wanted to have a moment to maybe go to some house parties, you know, go to some clubs, drink some beers, and just be normal.
Yeah.
And so we gave ourselves that opportunity, and we've been doing it ever since. I'm just kidding. No,
no, I don't think we expected it to be a 22-year breakup. I think that we probably thought it was going to be a few months, and then it just turned into our lives just went.
Everybody started doing different things, and
yeah,
you know, Dave, he was working in Toronto for a bit there.
Dave was my barista at Starbucks for a hot minute.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so we all just did different things, and it just turned out the way it turned out, and that's the way it is. And we're happy for it. We're you know, I think it's all part of a fun journey.
I like to think that you were like, you know what? There was this redhead with a bleach blonde streak and a tube top in the lineup in Vancouver, and we didn't get a chance to meet her. So let's break this thing up, and find her. And
we did it.
We did it.
You can stop searching now.
Here we are. So let's talk about what you're doing now, because for anyone who doesn't know Music Travel Love, you guys are like, your music gives me tingles and chills, and it seems like you're living the dream. Your band, you basically travel to beautiful places, you sing original music, you sing covers, you have this beautiful, like, your voices are crazy. How did you start that?
Well, you know, it's been I think everything we talked about has been a part of coming to that, and I think even more that maybe hasn't been seen or heard of. But you know, we've been here in Nashville writing for a publishing company for over 12 or 13 years. And I think there was this one day we had just finished recording a new project, and we kind of were driving and said, is this what we want to do? Like, do we want to, you know, go and spend the next 6 months trying to convince a record label to put it out, and then after that, convince radio to play it, and all these things that are kind of out of our control. You know, I had just become a father, And so my whole life had changed, and my desires of what I wanted to, how I wanted to spend my time was changing. And I wanted to be around my children and my family, my wife more. And so he wanted to be around his wife more. So we sort of just asked ourselves a really simple question. What's the most important thing? What's the most important things in our life? And we could sum it up in the most simplest form. And I remember Bob said it. He was like, it's music, it's love, it's family, and it's traveling. Like traveling has always made us happy because it's been a big part of our life. And so he said, why don't we do something where it just involves music, travel, and love? And that's what we did. We went out and did it. And, it does look, and we are living we are doing our dream. And we probably show only the best parts of it, and I think that's probably what social media does show. But for us, it's also a journey of us trying to understand what it is that we're doing. And it's basically the exact same thing as we were doing before. It's just trying to get, be better at what we do, be better at, making music, be better at, trying to balance our lives, with our work and family and all these things. So it's just, I think that's what we're doing right now, just trying to figure out how to be better and also balance everything at the same time.
Yeah. And before I ask you to sing, because trust me, I don't have any shame. I'm going to ask you to sing. Can you tell me, you have 2 kids? On this show, we like to qualify dads as, their hotness as hot dads, but the hotness is really directly related to how involved you are. So on a scale of like super involved, less involved, would you say that you're a very hot dad, a smoking hot dad? How hot are you, Clint?
That's hilarious. I have to rate myself.
Yeah. Your own hotness.
All I know is
your involvement as a father.
All I know is that it's like my favorite thing to do. Like it's my favorite thing. I'm so
that
grateful.
Makes you.
I don't know what it makes me. What does it make?
Are you really
a smoking hot dad?
I do know that I'm so grateful that like a lot of what I do is from my house, and so my kids I'm able to see them every single day. The other thing I'll mention is that we're working on a thing. The next thing that we're working on is called Music Travel Kids. And so it's basically what we're doing, but it's for kids. It's for my kids. My kids, like we've been working on it just over the last few weeks here. And so we're singing songs that they know, right? The songs that they know by heart. Plus we've also written an album that is for kids. It's like children's music, but it's music that we have written, it's originals, but also we're like doing Old MacDonald, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, stuff like that. My kids know the words, which makes me so happy. And so that's the next thing we're working on, and I'm super excited about it.
All I want in my life is for my sons to have identical twin boy men singing children's songs. That's all I want.
How old are your kids?
3.
3?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
You got to get them in and honestly, get them a little guitar. They can sing with us. They can learn the songs. Get them into it. Music Travel Kids. It's coming out.
I'm done. I want to wrap this up so I can get on top of it right now. Okay, so guys, I see that you're in your studio. You have guitars. Would you do us the honor of singing a little something? Just set our hearts even more aflutter than they already are.
Yeah, this might be coming out soon.
Woo!
This is an old one. If you know the words.
Oh, I do.
I used to call you my girl. I used to call you my friend. And I used to call you the love.
Take me out so I can recover.
I never had. When I think of you, oh, I don't know what to do. When will I see you again? I miss you like crazy, even more than words can say. I miss you like crazy, every minute of every day. Oh, 'cause girl, I'm so down when your love's not around.
going?
You're all that I want. You're all that I need. You're all that I need. Can't you see how I feel? Oh yeah. Can't you see in my pain so real when I think of you? Girl, I don't know what to do. When will I see you again? I miss you like crazy, even more than words can say. I miss you like crazy, every minute of every day. Because girl, I'm so down when your love's not around. Oh, I miss you, miss you, miss you. Miss you like crazy. I miss you like crazy, even more than words can say. I miss you like crazy, every minute of every day. Because girl, I'm so down when your love's not around. Oh, I miss you, miss you, miss you. Miss you like crazy. Miss you like crazy. Yeah, 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 yeah. Miss you like crazy. Oh, yeah. Girl, I miss you like crazy. I miss you. I miss you like crazy.
Bob and Clint Moffat, everybody. That just, I mean, I need my old prescription deodorant. That got me so, my heart is a flutter. You just made everybody's nights, years. You made 2020 so much better. Thank you so much for answering my strange internet call. Thank you for, joining us here tonight. Like, you really have brought me and so many other people so much joy over the years, including right now. And you're continuing to do that with Music Travel Love. And I encourage everybody to go follow you on YouTube, follow you on Instagram. You are so talented. You're amazing. And you can still get it. Bob and Clint Moffat, everybody.
Well, thanks so much for having us.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you honestly weren't creeped out by this?
Not at all.
Not at all. No.
We love it. We should do it again sometime.
We're gonna get my twins. When all this is over, we're gonna get my twins. We're gonna do a twin-to-twin music sesh with Music Travel Kids. Deal?
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. I'll be wearing a red tube top with a butterfly tattoo. Love you guys so much. And by the way, I'm not moving this. This is gonna stay up in my house for a very long time. So thank you again.
All right. Cool.
Bye,
Thanks.
guys.
Have a great night. Thanks,
You
everyone.
too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bob and Clint Moffat, everybody. What? Honestly, I don't know if you can tell, but I am sweating. I really felt like I was back at that concert when I was 15 years old. That just made my whole life, my whole year. And I hope you enjoyed it as well. I hope it wasn't just me being like a creepy Moffats fan. Thank you for getting up in my DMs, for being a part of this incredible community, for jumping in those comments and telling me to do this. Because really, we made dreams come true. I'll see you on the New Mom Who Dis Instagram page, Facebook page. I'll see you on the live next week, and we'll unpack all of this next week. Until then, I'm just gonna. Good night, everybody. See you next week. Whoo! Oh, please. Come on. I'm honestly wow.